What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another update video on my 1-to-1 scale Tardis. So just like last time, I'm going to do 2 updates in one video to kind of save time. I've been a little bit busy. So version 1.3 isn't too big, really. All it adds is a functioning basic mode, and to activate it, all you need to do is come over here to channel 1 and selector 4. Press that turns on safe mode, and then go to channel 2 and do the same thing, and that turns on basic mode. You'll notice all these name tags pop up, and they're fully updatable too. And that's really all there is for version 1.3. Now version 1.4, on the other hand, there is a lot added. So first, I added fully functioning travel to any coordinates. No random travel yet. Now, the way I did this was actually using a player. And that kind of means you need to have an alt account to be able to fly the Tardis, which sucks. But there's far less bugs and far less complicated redstone to lag your game. And a Minecraft account is only worth 20 bucks, so I think personally it was worth it. So let's actually come over here and turn basic mode off real quick. The easiest way is just to turn shields off, because as soon as you turn shields off, basic mode turns off. There we go. Now, we can go ahead and take off real quick. While we're actually taking off, I'm going to teleport over to my alt account. You see it materializes, and oh yeah. So it's just sitting in there hanging out until we actually come over here into the Tardis. Now let's go ahead and land, and then teleport over to Nutter Butter. And there we go. So how it actually works is pretty simple. All you do is type the coordinates in here, and it teleports the player. So when you take off, all the Tardis has to do is teleport the exterior to where the player is at. So next up, we added a working safe mode. Now the way that works is we're just going to go ahead and turn on basic mode real quick, just so I can remember where it's at. Alright, so now safe mode is on. So if we were to go ahead and take off, and we were to input some random coordinates, let's just say 1,000, 100, and, well, let's call it 80. And say 3,000. Okay, we can go ahead and put that in, and then land. And so what safe mode does is it tells the Tardis where it can and cannot land. So if it is in a safe place, it will land there. That was not a safe place. Hold up. Okay, I see the problem. I forgot to turn safe mode on. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and land now. And what should happen is the door waits to open until the Tardis has landed in a safe place. So right now, it's cycling through coordinates near where you tried to land. And here we are. We're in a safe place. So you're probably wondering also why the Tardis is a sponge, and I was actually testing a solid exterior, and I think I was able to make it work. So, I mean, it technically works, but I'm still testing it, and sponge is really easy to remove. Now, if we were to actually go and get these coordinates, go ahead and copy them, and we're going to go outside. Let's see how close we were to our destination. So we were about 100 blocks off in each direction. Not bad. Next up, we have working HADS. That stands for Hostile Action Displacement System. And the way it works is pretty self-explanatory. We go over to HADS real quick. Let's find it. Must be on channel 1. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn on HADS. Now, the Tardis needs to be in a safe place, so before even turning on HADS, you probably want to turn on safe mode to make sure you landed somewhere safe. So since we're in a safe place, here's where things get fun. Okay, so this is future editing me. I realized halfway through that clip that I didn't have another player sitting inside the Tardis, and since those chunks weren't loaded, I couldn't do this. But basically how it works is if you try to grief the Tardis or block the player in or anything like that, water, lava, TNT, any block you place around the Tardis, if it's too close within a certain proximity, the Tardis decides to dematerialize and rematerialize somewhere else within 100 blocks of that exact location. But like I said, the only reason I couldn't show it is because I didn't have the chunks loaded, and if I force loaded it, I would have messed things up for future me, and I didn't want to mess things up, alright? So, back to the video. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and skip this one for now. Next up, we have the Arts and Crafts room. Okay, so here's the Arts and Crafts room. Now, to load it in, you actually have to step in there, because the room itself is bigger than the hallways around it, so I have to do a little bigger on the inside effect. There we go, we've walked in, and there used to be a hallway here. There's no longer a hallway here. So if we come back outside again, you'll see that that hallway's there, and now it's not. Pretty nice. Room's not finished yet. I don't really know what I need to add because they don't show it for too long in the show. Next we have the telescope room. I'm not sure what it was actually called in Doctor Who, but that's just what I temporarily named it. It also has this little bigger on the inside effect, so if we go ahead and walk in, it loads in. I haven't actually built the telescope yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. I also need to figure out these other buildings out here, how to get rid of them. So yeah, that is the telescope room. If we back out of it, you'll see it unrenders again. There we go. And last but not least, I finally built the library. There we go. It took a very, very long time. I think it took 3 days straight of just building to get it perfect. And it is non-Euclidean because in the show they didn't actually have any way to get upstairs because there are no stairs. So the first floor is just a simple ladder. That's fine. That's awesome. But to get to the other floors, there is a little bit more of a complex way. So let's walk over here. We're going to walk around, and we are now on the second floor. Well, third floor, actually. And to get down, all you have to do is take this one exit. There you go. So to get to the next floor, you come over here. And it's pretty much the same thing. Now we're another floor up. So to get to the top floor, you guessed it, we have to take the other little passage over here to the right. And there we go. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. And just like that, we're out. Now you're probably wondering, how did I make this library as big as it is without obstructing any of the redstone out here? So if we actually go break through this, you'll see that there is no library. It's just a doorway, and there is a ton of redstone in the way. So how I did it is actually a little bit of a big brain move, I would think. So if we come on over here, see, here's the library. So what's actually happening is you're getting teleported in this hallway. And currently, if someone were to walk 3 blocks in front of me, they would disappear right in front of my eyes. Now, the way I'm going to get around it is I'm going to make it seem like it's rendering the player in and out when near these large structures. So, once the player gets teleported, what's actually happening is they're getting teleported up about 70 blocks. And any blocks they place down will be transferred from the top down to here. So, technically, the player isn't here anymore. But the player can still place blocks here. And vice versa. If I were to place a block, then the player at the actual library would see it. So, if I break down here, you'll see I'm way up in the air now. If I were to place a block right here, currently, it disappears. As you can see. That is going to be fixed. But the doors do transfer over. Just like that. Alright, now I know you guys have been waiting for this. Regeneration. I finally added in regeneration. So, if I go ahead, real quick, I can go ahead and give myself the effect poison for, let's say, about, I don't know, 10 seconds. Okay, that didn't work. Alright, let's go ahead and do instant damage. There we go. Now it's starting, and I have it displaying these numbers in chat just so I can visually see how much longer I have. Soon this is going to be removed and it's going to be replaced by just hearts. So, right now my max health is 3 hearts. So if I were to give myself a golden apple, it still wouldn't affect me at all. It would give me 2 extra hearts, but right now I actually cannot take damage, no matter how hard I try. No matter what I do, unless I use commands, there's no way to get rid of my health. So you'll see, I just lost a heart right there. Slowly, my health is deteriorating, and I will soon completely die, unless I regenerate. And to regenerate, you don't have to press any buttons, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is look straight up in the air. So, real quickly, let's go ahead and do that. And you probably didn't hear it, but I got struck by lightning, and there's fire. Now, probably the next update, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that destroy the Tardis. You're going to have to use self-repair to make it work again. But now I get a ton of health, since I just regenerated, and I can lose this health. So after you regenerate, for about the next 30 minutes or so, you get a ton of health. And for the first 3 seconds of that, you're immortal. So you're probably wondering, what happens when you get to your last regeneration? I'm going to go ahead and show y'all real quick. So, once you die, or you get close to death, usually you would regenerate by looking up in the air. But now if I look up in the air, nothing happens at all. So you're forced to wait out your time. Also, I forgot to mention, when you regenerate, you lose a lot of hunger. But since this is our last regeneration, it doesn't matter that much. So if you were playing a hardcore world, this is your time to say goodbye to pretty much everything. So we're going to go ahead and come over here and wait down the timer. And these should be our final moments. So we should die any second now. And there we go. So if we were to actually go back to the Tardis, or go back to where we died, it doesn't matter where we died. This is what you'll be greeted with. So this is the final resting place for any Time Lord. Now I also made a way for you to reset it if you wanted to. All you gotta do is go right over here and hit this button. And it's like you never died in the first place. It all goes away, your regeneration is set to 0, and you get to keep playing. So a few of you are probably wondering why I didn't showcase the Olympic-sized swimming pool. And that's because it's an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It is a huge, huge project that takes a lot of time, and there's not a lot to go off of based on the one frame they show. I don't even know how I'm going to go about doing it, because it definitely is a project. So this is actually what I'm working on now. Tardis. Or at least some name like that. I haven't come up with an actual name. But it's going to be infinitely generated rooms the further you walk. And it is going to be something. I've already started trying to design it and figure out how I'm going to do it. And, oh, there's a lot of pain involved. Mental pain. You know, trying to figure out what direction the room should spawn in, what types of rooms should spawn, and how to copy-paste the rooms and things like that. Just trying to figure out how it can actually be infinite. And these jigsaw blocks, structure blocks, are completely useless. You cannot use them. So I have to figure out a way to do it without them. And it is going to be hard. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next update.